Well, unfortunately, there appears to be more turbulence in the motorcycle industry after KTM's troubles. Now, Mutt appears to be in a considerable degree of trouble as well. Real sad thing, it's a British company that's used Chinese sub-manufacturing, so it's not an uncommon process these days. There are a number of British companies that do exactly the same thing, and I've had a look at the fundamentals, and I think I might have nailed down potentially why they're having a few problems. So let's ride along and have a look. So we'll start here on the announcements pages on the internet. This is from British Dealer News, showing that Mutt Motorcycles has been confirmed to be going into administration, and you can find this on a web search. And a secondary website here just confirming that, motorpenis.com, showing that RSM UK Restructuring Advisory LLP are the administrators. And this signals the formal process of assessing the company's assets and liabilities, intended to find a solution that could include restructuring or a potential sale. So there might be some form of debt resolution which needs to happen. So if you look at how many left, I know this is not the most precise and reliable way of finding sales data, but it gives you an idea of how many road registered models are there. What we can see is by the cumulative totals, there's not much. You see we've got there 30, so you've got 110 sold there, and then we've got another 110 sold there, then 17 sold there, then you're down to a net -6 there. So obviously in these times bikes may well have been scrapped, but you're showing a reduction. So we go down to, if you like, the biggest selling bike, the Mongrel 125. Start off 117, 503, so 503 to 845, so we've got 341 net sales there. 1085, 1084, so there's no real appreciable difference in those 2 years. 1153, 1165, 1058. So again, the sales is kind of done on these, or what's being registered is really replacing the vehicle park. So no stunning amount of sales here. We've got 50 odd going on the road in the last couple of years of this bike, and again, 90 sold there, maybe another 50 net, and then that bike has stopped being sold by looks of things. 50, 30. We're down here, sales are dropping away. Going on to this page here, no stellar growth here. 2020 we've got 20 sold, and by 2024 there's 30 net on the road, and again some of these may well have been scrapped. The Sabbath 250, 36 sold in that year, 2020. Then we've got another 24 being sold there net, about another 20, then only another 5, and then we're into degradation there of the vehicle park. So there's not huge quantities of these bikes appearing on the road, and the lack of sales really is probably, and again this is not the most definitive and accurate way of doing things, but it's quite an easy way of getting a bit of a gauge of what's going on in the marketplace with these companies. So it's just not the volume of sales there. I think that's what's cut them off, along with this £1 million from Santander. Now personally, I rebuild a lot of salvage. You may have seen some of my salvage rebuilds on the channel, and I've looked at historic Mutts, and to be honest, they've not fared well with the Great British weather, which makes me think that these things are probably depreciating maybe faster than they should, because they're bought by people at their low price, not being looked after, and they're not responding well to it. However, I have to say, it looks like the investment has really improved the product. So I think the product is damned, if you like, by its forebears, in the sense that people just assume, just like British Leyland used to be labelled as disaster vehicles because they're pretty much their first car was the Allegro and their second car was the Ital, or the other way around, and the Maxi as well, which none of which were British motor industry's finest hours, but it's sort of tainted the industry forever onwards. And in the same way, I think these bikes have been maybe unfairly treated, because the newer ones certainly look much better. I mean, this is not really my style at all, this type of bike, but they look stunning. And you know, the used listings don't show the massive deteriorations. I'm not going to show any now because obviously people have got there's certain privacy issues that might be involved in that. But yeah, again, you know, these are all, perhaps there's too many models, or are these just really variations on a theme that are put together off a part shelf that they assemble to order? I don't know. Maybe they're making more work for themselves than they should, because there are certain vehicles that sell very well and certain ones that are not recording on those figures. So you can see a huge range of these bikes here, and then we go on to this one here. And when I did the search on how many left, and I'll go back to that again, none of these were listed. But you know, a 400cc adventure bike under £5,000 is stunning value for money, and £2,800 for a 125 version. I mean, crikey. It depends on obviously the BHP and stuff on those bikes, but yeah, we've got two models here with two colours. Again, you see this is where the sort of the range gets deceptive. There is two models here, not four. It's just two models with paint, and it's how they've listed it. But if we go into this 125, now what we'll see here is really, what do the specifications say? So 4-stroke double overhead camshaft, brilliant. Let's have a look at the engine here. Single cylinder, 9.3 kilowatts, 12.5 horsepower. So it's not the best 125, but that's not a million miles away, because you're allowed up to, I think it's 14.5 horsepower as absolute tops. So this is really pushing the limits on what you're physically allowed, and yeah, that favours well. So this is, I would say, at the price point for the engine power, I don't think you can argue with that for its value for money. I mean, just yeah, I would quite happily stroll around on that, in because you don't want to be going through green lanes at 70 miles an hour, do you? So 20-30 mile an hour capability, and just keep on trucking down, and I would assume that the MPG would be staggeringly good on something like this. So yeah, it's got everything. To my undying shame, I've not really looked at these modern ones because of the old ones not being so great. But I think going forward, these will definitely be on my radar, definitely. And if they do carry on, maybe not the 125. I mean, crikey, I've got a full license, so the 401cc. Let's be honest, that'd be the one for a gentleman like myself with a full license. So let's see what it says about the engine. Twin cylinder, 4-stroke, maximum power, 36 brake horsepower. Well, I would say that's highly respectable on the lines of the Triumph 450 range in terms of what they're priced at. I would say again, this is priced absolutely on the button. So there's no particular reason apart from maybe brand reach. I mean, who would buy the company out of administration is the next question, I suppose. I mean, could you say Mutt by Triumph? I don't know. It's a possibility if they could buy it cheaply enough. There's definitely a sub brand there, because when it was in the bad old days of the British industry, it was the last models were Norton Villiers Triumph. So maybe it could be rebadged as a Villiers product to sort of shake the Mutt name's older bad reputation, shall we say, or less than good reputation, and it could maintain those British jobs and revitalise this part of the industry. But you know, if dealers are going broke, left, right and centre, and other manufacturers as large as KTM are clearly in trouble, then you know, we've got to look after the small guys as well. So thank you if you've got this far to listening to all my witterings. and maybe, just maybe, on a street corner near you, you're going to see one of these bikes. Bye for now.